Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm in the rabbit shed today and got quite a big update to share. So if you've been following the whole kind of situation with the rabbits, you'll know that we had a group of 4 bonded together, then they unfortunately had to be separated into 2 pairs just because of some quite bad fighting and just generally them not getting along, having these flare-ups of like quite big fights, especially between Piper and Ziggy. And yeah, so they've been living in 2 pairs for a while. Then I tried to bond them together again, which actually was very successful, and it even got to the point where, you know, they were all sitting very close together. This had been going on for a few weeks. They would even, you know, sit very close to each other, and just generally they were getting on so much better this time. I had them in a different habitat to last time, so obviously a new territory was going to be like quite favourable, just because neither of them would see it as their own kind of territory. So that's what happened, and yeah, it was all going really well. I was really impressed with the fact that they were just so good together. They were, you know, like I say, sitting very close together, even, yeah, sharing the same trays and stuff like that, and it was just going really well. There was no sign of dominance at all, really. There was a bit here and there with, you know, Piper chasing and that, but that's very normal to have that kind of hierarchy, and it's quite a healthy thing. And then all of a sudden, just maybe, I think it was day before yesterday, out of nowhere, they just started fighting again. I don't know what was the trigger. It really did just seem to come out of nowhere. And yeah, unfortunately, that fighting, it kind of escalated again, and it really just came out of nowhere. I found Piper was chasing Ziggy all over the place, and then Bigwig was getting involved, and they were getting into these kind of, it was almost as though they were like tackling each other into like a ball. That's all I can describe it as. And yeah, they were actually starting to injure each other, and unfortunately Ziggy got a rip to his ear. I think that was probably a scratch from one of these two. I will probably try and show you that in a bit, but I guess at that point I just thought, yeah, there's not a lot I can do now. It's kind of got to the point where if they're starting to hurt each other badly, then kind of have to give up. So yeah, we gave it 2 attempts, and I'm really gutted because they were so sweet together, and when they were getting along it was all great, but there just seems to be this ongoing conflict, which, even though it seems to sort of resolve itself for a while, it just comes out of nowhere, which is the really weird thing about all this. Is because they seem to get along absolutely great, and then out of nowhere there is this trigger, possibly the age difference between them. These two are quite elderly now, and they've been a pair for a very long time, so maybe that's just the way they want it. But obviously I am gutted because I absolutely loved having them all together, and I think it's quite healthy actually for them to be in a group rather than as pairs, because although, I mean, these two absolutely love being as a pair, but I guess the social interaction of a group is definitely like very enriching for them. So it is a shame, but it's kind of come to that. And what I've done is I've done this today. So just to give Piper and Bigwig a little bit more room, because last time I did this they just kind of had the top shelf. So I've tried to actually divide the shed this time. I've still given Ziggy and Enya more space because they are much more active. They're younger rabbits. So I've just made Piper and Bigwig's run a bit smaller because they don't really move a whole lot, to be honest. But again, it's still very spacious. It's just raining outside at the minute, so you can probably hear that in the background. Anyway, so we're going to let these two out now, and I've just moved them from the other run, and we're going to see their reaction. They'll be desperate to get out, I'm sure. Hello, Enya. Hello. Enya's looking really different now. I had to shear her a while back, so she's looking way more like a rabbit now than she ever used to. And here's Ziggy. It's actually his ear on, well, it's his left ear. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get a close-up of that because he's quite skitty all over the place. We'll see. Unfortunately, this is kind of likely to be a permanent thing now, so I am pretty gutted that they're not going to be able to live together as a group. So yeah, from that point of view, it is a real shame. Although, you know, they're going to be very contented like this anyway. I think the only thing is with the split cage, they can build up quite a bit of aggression wanting to get to each other, but it's really the best kind of solution I can provide for them, so we'll see how things go. I'm just hoping they don't get too agitated being next to each other. I can see Piper's already realised that there's other rabbits. She just has this mean look on her face, and soon enough she'll figure out how to get to them, as in how to get down from the top shelf. But at least they can always keep out of each other's way, which is good. And the main thing is them not being able to hurt each other anymore, because we really don't want any more injuries. Could really do without that. Hello. And Enya's such a sweetheart. I mean, whenever all this happens, she's never getting involved in the fights or anything. She really just keeps out the way. I think it's quite hard for her actually, because she wants to be friends with all of them, but unfortunately the higher ranking ones, I guess, make that difficult. Where have you gone? Can we show your ear? He's not going to sit still. He's such a fidget. He's such a fidget, aren't you, Ziggy? Oh, and you're covered in grass. He's scruffy as always. Look at you. Look at the state of you. Now Bigwig's thumping. I've actually got some grass for them, so I thought I'll get some feed for them whilst I'm here. She's like trying to figure this out now. It's been a while since they've had this kind of system, so won't be long before she works that out, I'm sure. So yeah, anyway, we'll get the grass for them. It's feeding time now, so All that has spilled out. See, you can just about see. I'm not sure it looks as bad on camera, but it is quite a deep sort of split in the ear. They all seem quite contented now anyway, which is good. As long as they've got each other and they've got plenty of food. That's all they ever want, really. So I guess for now that's probably everything. It is obviously, like I say, I am sad that it's not worked out, but equally, you know, we've got two very well bonded pairs, so, you know, can't have everything, I suppose. You're so giddy, aren't you?